The Tortoise and the Hare. Once upon a time, in a peaceful meadow, there lived a boastful and speedy hare. He loved to brag about his speed and always told the other animals how fast he was. "I can run faster than anyone in this entire forest," the hare would say, puffing out his chest. "I'm the fastest creature alive." The other animals, although respectful of the hare's speed, grew tired of his constant boasting. One day, as the hare was prancing around, he came across a slow-moving tortoise. The tortoise was quietly eating some grass, taking his time as usual. The hare, seeing another opportunity to boast, approached the tortoise with a smirk. "Hey, slowpoke," he teased. "I bet I could beat you in a race. What do you say?" The tortoise, with his steady and calm nature, didn't hesitate. "I accept your challenge," he said simply. "I may be slow, but I will finish the race." The animals gathered around to watch the unusual challenge. The forest buzzed with excitement as the race was about to begin. The hare laughed at the idea of losing to a tortoise, certain that he would win without a doubt. Chapter 2, The Race Begins. The racecourse was marked out, a path that wound through the forest, across a river, and up a steep hill to the finish line at the top of a small hill. The other animals were eager to see what would happen. "On your marks, get set, go," shouted the wise old owl, who was chosen to officiate the race. And they were off. The hare immediately shot forward, leaving the tortoise far behind. He dashed with incredible speed, leaping over rocks and hopping over logs, barely even breaking a sweat. The tortoise, however, moved steadily, one slow step after another, his eyes focused on the finish line ahead. After a while, the hare, who had already run far ahead, turned to look back. He couldn't see the tortoise anywhere near him. With a mischievous grin, the hare decided to take a nap. "There's no way the tortoise will catch up to me," he thought. "I'll rest for just a little while." The hare lay down under a shady tree and quickly fell asleep. The tortoise, undeterred, kept moving at his steady pace, taking one step at a time, inching closer and closer to the finish line. Chapter 3, The Tortoise's Steady Progress. As the hare slept soundly, the tortoise passed him by, moving steadily but surely. He had no intention of stopping. The tortoise thought of the finish line, not as a distant goal, but as a challenge that he could overcome with patience. The animals watching the race from a distance saw the tortoise moving steadily forward. Some of them whispered to each other in disbelief, could the tortoise really win? At the same time, the hare continued to nap, confident that he would easily catch up when he was ready. But as the minutes turned into hours, the tortoise continued his slow but consistent progress, getting closer to the finish line with every step. Chapter 4, The Hare Wakes Up. After what felt like a long time, the hare finally woke up. He yawned and stretched, feeling rested and refreshed. But when he looked around, he was shocked to see the tortoise nowhere in sight. That slowpoke must still be far behind, the hare thought, laughing to himself. "I'll just take a little jog to the finish line, and I'll win in no time." With that, the hare began running again. But when he rounded the bend and came into view of the finish line, his heart sank. There, just ahead of him, was the tortoise, steadily making his way to the top of the hill. The hare sprinted with all his might, but it was too late. With a final step, the tortoise crossed the finish line just before the hare. Chapter 5, The Lesson Learned. The animals cheered, and the tortoise raised his head high in triumph. The hare, panting and out of breath, finally reached the top of the hill, but it was too late. The tortoise had already won. The wise old owl flew down to congratulate the tortoise. "Well done, my friend. You've shown us all the value of persistence and patience." The hare, though disappointed, realized the lesson he had learned. He bowed his head to the tortoise and said, "I've learned something today. I may be fast, but it's not always about speed." The key to success is persistence, and you've shown me that. The tortoise smiled and replied, "Thank you. It's not about how fast you go, but how you keep going that matters." From that day forward, the hare no longer boasted about his speed. He respected the tortoise and all the creatures of the forest, understanding that every individual has something valuable to offer, no matter their pace. And so, the tortoise and the hare became friends, both wiser for the experience, and their story was passed down for generations as a reminder that slow and steady truly does win the race. The end.